there, welcome to the channel. I'm Cindy Daychuck with Queen Bee Creations, and today we are going to do a little Halloween craft inspired by this find, which I found a number of months ago, but I thought looked like a cauldron, and so that's our starting point. So to begin, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take Fusion from Coal Black from Fusion, and I am going to paint, there's a good brush to use here, and I'm going to give it 2 coats of paint, letting it dry in between coats. I'm using the all-in-one just because I don't need this to be anything other than black. And because Fusion has a built-in sealer, I'm not having to futz with, you know, extra coats of sealer or wax or anything like that. I can just get my 2 coats on and be done, because the fun part of the craft is really not the painting of the cauldron. That's just forming the base of what we're going to be doing. We've got our cauldron done, and I decided to leave the handles in that kind of burnished coppery look. I liked that. The next step, I need to just lay down some plastic wrap or get an old garbage bag or, you know, something. You want to have some plastic down because this part's going to be a little bit messy. I have a little bit of water here, and I have some white craft glue, and I'm going to just kind of dilute this down a bit. I want the gluing effects of it, but I want it to be thinner so that I can kind of paint with it a little bit. So we've got our glue. So nice glue mixture. And we have some white tissue paper. So I'm going to, I don't know how big I'm going to cut this. Let me start by cutting it in half. And once I get an idea of the size, I'll cut some more sheets. But I think I'm just going to cut it into quarters. Roughly. You can tell I'm not agonizing over it. Okay? I think that was 2 sheets, so I've got 8 sheets so far. We'll see how it goes. I'll cut more as it goes so that if I don't end up with small little sheets. The next thing, I have a skewer and I have a round styrofoam ball. I'm going to skewer that on the pokey end. I'm probably not going to need all of this length, but I can cut it off later to the length I need. The other thing that I have, which is much larger than it needs to be, but I just happen to have it this size, is something to just mount this in so it can dry. All right, so there's no other magic. You could put it into an egg cup, into a glass, a jar, a smaller piece of styrofoam, whatever you need. So what I'm going to be doing is, and I don't know why, but my tissue paper has a dull side and a slightly shiny side. Can you see that gloss? I don't know what that's all about. But I'm going to do shiny side down, and I'm going to paint this with my glue. And because tissue paper is thin and picking this up, you know, piece by piece would create a lot of ripping and tearing, I'm going to just take another piece, I'm going to lay it on top, and I'm kind of laying it on kind of kitty corners so that it's not, and that was 2 pieces, so that it's not perfectly aligned, because I'd like to have kind of jagged edges. If you haven't caught on yet, we're making a little ghost. So I'm just wetting that side. I'm gonna lay another piece on, again, kind of overlapping and different edging so that nothing's just matching up perfectly. So and we're just gonna keep doing this until we kind of have whatever level of transparency you want. I'm just gonna do 4 and then I'm gonna lay it on because I can always do more after. But 4 kind of covers all my edges in a nice kind of pattern. Just want to take my glue mixture out to those edges. And it's okay if some of your edges tear. It's all good. And I'm going to put a bunch of the mixture on my ball. And now I'm going to attempt to kind of lift this up. And maybe it might be easier to put it over top and then peel the plastic away. That actually is starting to sound like a smarter idea. So I just roughly want to get it centered. And then peel back my plastic. Definitely the better way to go. So let me peel off all of my plastic first. This is going to be slow going, and then we'll get back as we start to shape it. All right. I'm just going to kind of roughly shape it a little bit around the head, let everything kind of fall where it may. It was easy to pull off once I got halfway and pulled down and away. The front piece is a little more challenging because they're very delicate, but I'm not sure the size that I need anyway, so I'm going to be able to cut any pieces away that I don't like. What I do want to do is just to continue adding some little pieces on. So this is the start. I'm gonna add a couple more on just to get a little bit more free flowing. And then we're just gonna leave this off to the side to dry. All right, our little ghost has dried. So you can hear, I mean, still a little delicate, but still pretty okay. The one thing that I want to do before I get rolling is I want to pick maybe the flattest part of the face, and I just want to draw a little bit of a ghost face on it. So nothing major, right? 2 little ghost eyes. And here's a little more challenging because this isn't flat. I just have to get into all the little creases here. And I have the little ghost face. So let me put him off to the side. We need him after, but we need to do some other things first. So I do have our pot, and I have some floral foam, and you could do it in just bits and pieces. I just happen to have a round one, which is going to make my life a little bit easier. Not a heck of a lot easier, because I'm still going to have to cut it down, which gives me the heebie-jeebies, but you know, it's for Halloween, so I guess that's fair game. And it's going to be smaller than that. Because it has to go down into the inside. So if I look at this is probably in around here-ish. Maybe a good place to start. Okay. And I just use this to cut it because it tends to bug me less. If there's sawing involved, it's kind of just gives me shivers up my spine. Nails on the chalkboard. Okay, little moon left. Let's get you off. All right, and I'll keep those pieces for another project, and then we'll see how this fits. And how I need to start shaving. I don't want to over shave it, meaning I don't want it to be so loose. So I'm actually taking my palette knife a little bit in on an angle so that it's still wider at the top, which is pretty much similar to, because at some point I can squish it, but I don't want to I'd rather go slow. So I don't want this sitting up too high is basically where I'm at. I'd like to have a bit of a lip. And having said that, now I've pushed it in, so let's go with that. Okay, that's what I didn't want to do, was over push it and have it just fall in there. Okay, that's good. Just a little more on that side. Awesome. Okay, get the creepy stuff out of the way, which is very fitting for it being Halloween, I guess. It just creeps me out. I'm sure that there's a bunch of you that it's just perfectly comfortable and natural for, and you're good to go. So I have a bag of mixed moss here from the dollar store. What I'm getting out is this kind of faded white, kind of dead looking stuff. Because I think that's what's going to fit kind of our Halloween theme a little bit better. It's got hunks of leaves in it and sticks, and so I think that kind of sitting in our pot and kind of overflowing it is going to look great. So we're going to get a bunch of that all glued down in there, which will tend to also serve to glue our floral foam down. Just when you're gluing this down, watch your fingers, because you are not, you know, this has all kinds of spots that the glue can pop out and get you. Let me grab another stick. Okay, I don't need that to be absolutely perfect coverage, because I do have a bunch of other stuff that I'm going to be attaching in there. But I do just want it to have a nice base layer. So we've got our pot, we've got our moss kind of coming over the cauldron of it. And I do have something I'm just going to run and get that I had outside. Okay, so I have these weird sticks that I picked up from outside. And I just thought that they were, this one in particular, just kind of all those lovely weird little branches sticking out, that I thought could kind of serve as a bit of a spooky backdrop. Look at how awesome that is. I spray painted them a matte black, and it's just kind of very cool because then our ghost fits in here. And I want the ghost to kind of look like he's floating. Oh, and that's as low as he goes because he's hitting the bottom of the pot. So I'm putting him a little lower, actually. There we go. So we've got our ghost in there. And then what I have from the dollar store is I have a big sack of spiders and of bone hands. I'm just going to use 2. Just seeing if they have a left and a right hand or if they're all just right-handed. No, there's a left and a right. Okay, so I have a left and a right. And then I have a bag of bones. And these are in a variety of sizes as well. So I am now just going to glue those in place, kind of decorate my pot up with them, and then I'll come back and I'll show you, because really it's just organizing and gluing, but I think it's going to be kind of spooky cute. Okay, here's our finished little Halloween decor. Really pretty simple. I mean, you could use any kind of container for this. I just love that it looks sort of like a cauldron, but you could do, you know, the thrift stores have tons of just those round glass fishbowl kind of things. You could just use one of those, paint it out black. Really not a lot. The ghost is just the tissue paper painted up with that glue mixture, which is more than hardy for what we're looking at doing. Just some sticks from the backyard, spray painted black, already look a little bit spooky, but kind of fill it in a little bit. And then some dollar store spiders and bones. Kind of cute, kind of creepy, great on just your little credenza. Give a little bit of the Halloween feel into your home decor, and especially if you're doing a Halloween party, having him sitting on a side table somewhere or part of the buffet table would just be super, well, I was going to say cute. Spooky cute? I don't know. Let me know what you think of this one, guys. I don't do a lot of Halloween, but I seem to be coming up with some Halloween ideas this year for some reason. So hopefully it's sparking some of your ideas. Looking forward to seeing you on the next one. And until then, take care.